Okay, let me break that one down. Let's look at the chord changes first. It's a B flat major to F major to C, C7 chord. So let's run through that. Here's my B flat, F, and I can think of C major, right, or C7. In the other position, I'm really thinking, that was the first, I'm thinking this clearly. And also here. And it's really important to see those shapes. You're going to come across these fingerings all the time. Okay, so here's my B flat major, my F, right off my F chord, and then my C. And once again down here, B flat major, F, and C. Do you notice it was the same three shapes, just in a different position, right? So that's important to see, that you're going to come across a lot of these same shapes. They just repeat themselves as they go across the fingerboard. Okay, so the solo, I'm thinking about, well, what's my parent pentatonic scale? This one can be a little tricky, but I'm going to think maybe C major pentatonic. That doesn't work 100%, and that's what this whole course is about. Without getting too theoretical, the whole song, this chord progression is actually in the key of F major. But F major pentatonic doesn't sound really great either because it doesn't address a lot of the notes. So I like to think kind of C major pentatonic, and that can give me some bluesy sounds. The first thing I'm doing is I'm just outlining the chords as we go through. So the first riff to be really without all the embellishments, the cool guitar stuff. So I'm just going through notes of the chords. So if we look, B flat, F, C. Right? So I'm just going right down. I'm seeing those notes. Now it turns out to give me basically an F major scale, but that doesn't really matter because if I see those shapes of those chords, it's a lot of freedom to me. So once again, I'm thinking that B flat major chord. I'm targeting my B flat. It's a really strong note. Now I'm just releasing that bend. I'm playing the A note, which is in my F chord, then to the C. Okay? Then, and now I went kind of that bluesy thing I talked about, the pentatonic scale. I went up a C major triad, which is a pickup, because I'm on still the C chord there. Okay, now I went like this, so what's cool about that B flat here, that C major triad's bringing me back to the B flat chord. And I did that same kind of thing. I bent from the B flat to the C, the B flat to the C. So I'm covering my B flat chord. And then when I bend up to the C, F major is F A C. Okay? So if we break it down, I'm just doing triad, triad, triad. And I'm looking for those strong notes. In this case, the B flat to the C was really great for the B flat chord. And then the C sounds awesome on the F chord because it's in the chord. And I can hold that C as I do as the common tone going to the C chord when I get to that. Now, the next section where I kind of just go real bluesy, this is what BB does. And he isolates that little magic BB King box. And I've heard Joe Bonamassa's version of this, and BB does a version with John Mayer, and they all approach this end solo section the same way. So what's kind of cool about this is a C pentatonic, C major pentatonic, except you're going to replace the E a lot with the F note, which is going to cover the F note in my B flat chord, the F, of course, in the F chord, and I just don't really play the F on the C chord. So what's really fun is by just altering that one note of the scale, we're covering all of our chord progressions. So right? So really what I'm kind of thinking in a larger picture, and makes it easier to think about, on my B flat chord, B flat D F, there's my F chord, or right there. I'm going to play use the F a lot. When I get to my C chord, I'm not going to use that F. All right, I'm going to avoid that because the F on the C chord just doesn't sound so good. So in that kind of bluesy riffing at the end, I can still think, pentatonic-y, bluesy, riffy stuff, but I'm still thinking, what are the notes I'm going to hang on? So my first note is that B flat, right, my first chord. And my hit on that, right? My next chord is F. So I'm going to bend my G to A, which is part of my F chord, and hang on that F, then. So you heard the changes, right? So if I do the B flat, sorry, to my F chord, right? You heard the change from the B flat to the F to the C. So the cool thing as well is that the more you practice it, the more your ears will start to pick these things up. Your ears won't really allow you to play a wrong note, or you'll know pretty quickly, and you'll try to get off of it. And I guarantee you the note that you end up liking will be one of the strong notes we've talked about, one of the chord tones, and your ears won't lie. Okay, let me take you through some of the lines I was playing. Right off the top. Right, so on those first section, as I discussed earlier, I'm really outlining those chord changes very clearly by hitting the notes of the triad and the strong notes. And when I go up to the top here, that's a really awesome one for all of the chords, actually, which is kind of nice. So I'm going to slide in from my C. Think of the C major pentatonic with that added F in there. So I'm going to slide up from G to A to the C. I'm going to bend my D. Then I'm going to get the F to the G, the D bend. And the reason why that one sounds really nice is it really can cover bow, 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 or bow, 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 right? So it covers all those chords really nicely. And that's what BB does primarily when he's soloing on this thing. Really plays off of that. And then the C is a really, really strong note on all this because it's the overall sound of the chord progression is C, but it's also in the F chord and the C chord. So I'm just going to be careful on the B flat chord. I can play the C, it'll work, but that's where I really want to get that F in there. And like I said earlier, that you really hear those changes. So then I'm going to extend that a bit too. Well, the B flat, I bent my G up a whole step to the A, and then to the B flat, a minor third. Really kind of classic blues lick that you hear BB, and I know Bonamassa does it on that version as well. So really staying with right in the same stuff we're talking about. And then ending on that G, so I can do like a, right, bring me right back down. So the B flat bend can cover my B flat chord, right? So I'm thinking up here, the B flat, to my F, to my C. And again, my nice C on the top here. So that same line I played here, I borrowed from that. And that's a cool thing as well, is that melodic development, motivic development, borrowing from something you played earlier, bring it up an octave or down an octave. It's a really great way to go. But have a lot of fun. I would break the solo up into two ideas. The really nail in the chord changes, like I talked about into the first half of the section. Then have a lot of fun going to the B.B. King style bluesy licks and really focusing in on those strong notes.